All right, we should be live. Let me know if you can hear me. Um, yeah, let me know if you have any problems hearing me or anything. But we should be good to go. So some real good news with NIO about their NIO Power Day. So it looks like they have a whole lot of money, cash on hand, which is really surprising to hear, actually. Yeah, NIO Power Day. There's crazy, fantastic news that came out um, about NIO Power Day. So much stuff. So much stuff. So some of the main things are NIO or William Lee's target is. So it was like 500. William Lee did say that he wanted to try to get above 500 this year, though, but they raised it now to 700. That's a crazy increase, crazy huge increase. Yeah, NIO got another upgrade to buy 69. Was that one from a couple days ago? We did a video on that, like CICC or something like that, I believe. Was $69. Unless another one. Yeah, Tim, I'm in Southwest Florida. But yeah, Mike's in Ohio, so he's a local. How far away are you from Dayton, Mike? Is it like an hour and a half or something? I completely forget everything about Ohio now. But yeah, going from 500 to 700 battery swap stations this year is just insane. That's not just like a little increase. That's a huge increase. Yeah, Tim. I agree. That's why I'm here. But yeah, as of July 9th, you can see that they had 301 battery swap stations. It seemed like after they did the crazy amount, like the 11 battery swap stations, and they were doing like 2 a day for a week, they kind of like took a little breather, and yeah, they only did like 1 in the last week or so. But yeah, but some of the main things here is they're gonna do over 4,000 battery swap stations worldwide by 2025. Worldwide, not just in China. So that obviously, they says including 1,000 in overseas markets. So yeah, I was really surprised with all the good stuff that came out of this. I wasn't really expecting this much information. So that's awesome. Just makes me like NIO even more. But $7.3 billion in cash on hand right now. And I mean, they're going to be needing that because each battery swap station is like, I think 230 some $1,000 after you convert it to US dollars. There is a town in China though that you get like a $70,000, like they'll pay 70,000 of it. So that, cuts the cost in a quarter, which is fantastic. But yeah, having $7.3 million on cash on hand is fantastic. And also they announced that the NIO's power charging and even the battery swap system, they're opening it to the entire industry. So, we talked about the subsidies and stuff that companies get if they do battery swap enabled cars above, I think it's like low 40,000 US dollars. But anything above that, like 40-ish, 43, whatever, $1,000, then they won't get the subsidies. So I could see a lot of companies doing battery swap enabled cars, because they make a lot more money. Like Tesla, they only make money from subsidies. So I'm not saying Tesla's going to, but they could, and then use kind of, instead of doing their own, like creating their whole new own separate battery swap station, they could, just use NIOs, and it would save them a lot of money. Again, not saying Tesla would do that, but a smaller company, could easily do that. Obviously, they would have to build it to specific, specs and stuff to work with NIO's battery swap stations, but still fantastic. Yeah, Anthony, 4,000 swap stations by 2025 is fantastic. I don't know how to say your name. Jure? Yeah, I just went over that. 1,000 in overseas. So yeah, they're not playing around with the battery swap stations. That's crazy. Yeah, they're adding, attained, and applying for more than 1,400 patents. They already have like crazy amount of patents, and they're just patenting even more stuff. So that's obviously means they're innovating, creating new things. So that's obviously good stuff. Hey, what's up, David? Thanks for joining. But they're also extending NIO Power Cloud. Like it's insane. And this is just obviously just brushing over the surface of everything. It's not even going into detail yet. But yeah, I think the big thing obviously is like 7.3 billion of cash. The battery swap station is getting boosted to 700 this year. Like 500 was already crazy enough, but now they're wanting to do 700. And William Lee, like he's probably not going to tell you his goal unless he knows he can hit that goal. That seems to be a common thing. He just always over delivers a lot of times. Joseph, you're from Cleveland, Ohio. That's not terribly far away from where Mike's at. Yeah, Anthony, I see a lot of people complaining that NIO is spending a lot of money, but it's like, you have to spend a lot of money to build up, to expand, so it's like, would that same person complain if they're not spending money expanding, building new factories and doing everything, and saying, oh, they're not expanding? Like, you can't have it both ways. You have to expand. Most companies don't make, profit for a while, especially, stuff like this. There's a lot of money spent in R&D and stuff, and expanding, it's just, I would much rather them spend money on expanding than something else just dumb. But yeah, you have to spend money to expand. So as Mike has said before, he sees next year being really good for NIO because they're spending so much money this year on expansion, and building up just all the battery swap stations, all the charging infrastructure, which is all stuff you need. So obviously you need to spend that money. No, I didn't say anything about the Hong Kong market in here or anywhere. Anthony, I like that they're working on infrastructure for the future. Yep. But it's not NIO looking at the battery will be a different company which NIO invests, so who's getting all the profits? That is a good thing, or a good question, because the battery swap stuff is under technically a different company, but NIO has like a part ownership in that company. So NIO's, it's weird. I think it is weird how it is set up, because those profits that they get from the battery swap stations isn't going to be on NIO's their revenue sheet, their earnings and stuff. So I think it is kind of weird how that's set up, but they are making money from it. But yeah, I agree, it is kind of weird that the profits from that goes to a different company. But it's all kind of weirdly set up, since like the NIO China stuff, the NIO Capital stuff. Hopefully they start buying back more of the NIO China stuff, so it's only theirs. But I think they did either earlier this year or late last year, they did spend like 800 and some million, I think 850 million on buying more back from when Hefe and stuff invested so much money into them and created NIO China. But yeah, I agree, it's kind of weird with the battery swap stuff. But yeah, 40% increase They're not messing around. Know Me subscriptions. Yeah, they have so many different subscriptions, so many different little revenue streams. It's, I mean, that's what you want. You want reoccurring revenue, you know? So they're, I think they're setting themselves up now for huge success in the future. And then obviously, you know, more countries they get into, the more battery swap stations they can throw up, obviously, you know, stuff like that. But it's gonna take some time. So NIO today we did hit 47. Also it did pop up, but we're kind of, you know, just kind of chilling right now. Is, you know, it is starting to trend back up. We did break. Well, let's see. This is today, so we did break even around here, but it's slowly working its way back up. If you look at like Xpeng, where's Xpeng? Xpeng's kind of doing the same thing. It did do a more drastic run up this second, you know, buy up. Not really run up, but you know what I mean. Lee, I looked at Lee today. It's kind of doing the same thing. They were all up pre-market and then, you know, sold off. I was expecting kind of more of a sell-off because think of all the people that bought yesterday kind of at the bottom, and then they're up right now like, I don't know, 6%, 7% or so. Like they could easily sell and just make easy profits. We saw this a lot during the whole correction stuff. Anytime it went up, it just came right back down. And I'm assuming that's just because people are just, you know, in and out, just quick trades just for easy profits during a crappy market time. I haven't really seen them pushing all the fear and stuff again today. So maybe that's why, you know, my whole portfolio is pretty much green besides a couple things. NIO is the only thing that's not green for me. Microsoft is down 0.01%, but Xpeng is negative, but I bought a little bit more, somewhere around here. Let's see what I bought it at. Bought just a little bit more. I don't want a huge holding because I'm already in CCIV, NIO, Tesla. Like I don't want too much stuff, you know, and this stuff, but I mean, I think Xpeng is going to be good long term. So I wanted a small position in it. I bought more today at 39.18. So wherever that's at. 39.18, somewhere around here. So bought more at a pretty good price. So it did make me positive for the day on Xpeng. I did expect more of a drop today. I wasn't really expecting it to be green today, so I'm happy about that, but I'm also, I kind of wanted to buy a bunch of other stuff cheaper. Like Airbnb today for me is up 4%, CCIV is up 5%. Yeah. Let's see. I've got a fever, and the only cure is more likes. Best regards. Hey, thank you, Domino. Yeah, if you guys aren't already, you know, just smash that like button real quick. It really helps out the stream. Gets more eyeballs on it. Let's see. Also, that clown said to sell NIO. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't really know what to say about that. Basically, do the opposite of what he says, like we've said before. I feel bad, sort of, I guess, for everyone that always follows his advice, because he's usually wrong. Again, we try not to, like, tell you guys what to do. It's your money. Do whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, for him to always just flat out tell people like, no, you need to sell NIO, buy Tesla. I mean, even a week before he was saying buy Tesla, he was saying that Tesla's crap. So it's all just, you know, whatever they want to tell people at that point in time. But it's just funny. I mean, Tesla is up a little bit today, but it just had this little spike. But I mean, if you look overall, NIO this year is doing better, a good amount better than Tesla. Maybe not a good amount, but they are doing better. Last time I looked, I don't know. I haven't looked since this last pullback, so maybe they're kind of more even now. But yeah, NIO's been outperforming Tesla. But I think them doing I think them doing, like this says over here, to open battery swap stations to other other electric automakers, that's fantastic. Hang on. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. Phil, there you go. Got another chair in here for you. Maybe we'll blast off. You're right, Chad. NIO ADR bought back NIO China February 6th at 9.6. Yeah. I think it's, like I said, there's so many numbers just going on in my brain. Like, it's hard to keep all the companies straight, all their numbers. I believe it was like 800 some million. It was a lot of money. That's all I know. It was kind of unfortunate that, you know, they spent that much money and they didn't really buy a lot back, but, you know, they did get a lot of money put into the company. So, yeah, so it's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, I think it's good. The more they buy back, the better, obviously. But yeah, it looks like, Phil, does that make you feel better? I got the second chair in here. That's been a running joke too, by the way. If anybody's new in here, I used to stand during videos because it seemed like I just had more energy and felt more alive standing. But yeah, I sit down now. So, and then ever since I sat down and brought the chair into the party, then NIO started doing good. So that was like the running joke, that if I had 2 chairs, it would go up even more. Kramer's funny to listen to. I only listen to him to catch the other side of the hype, kind of like watching CNN, Fox, MSNBC. I need all the side of the story to make a smart opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I think with anything, you need to, you need more than just what one person is telling you. The best thing is to, go out and do your own research and, on anything in life in general. It doesn't have to be news related, stock related, anything. It's always best to research your own and form your own opinion based on, a bunch of different things. But, pay safe. Let's see. Pay safe stack. Oh yeah, man. Pay safe is starting to go up. Starting to blast off a little bit. I actually bought into ARK ETF, ARKK, it's somewhere down here, and I'm already up 2.18%. It's just gonna be like a smallish hold for me and just hold it long and see what happens. NIO is, I mean, look at NIO, it's like trending. It is trending up, slowly trending. So hopefully we don't do this again and then dip. Hopefully at least, the low, higher lows, and then hopefully this is higher, higher highs. So hopefully that's, the way we keep trending. XPeng just broke positive, for the day. So that is good. It looks like a lot of things are, moving up. Let's see. Do we have it in here? I actually bought into ChargePoint because it was down a lot. I bought in a couple days ago, and then I bought a little bit more yesterday. I originally opened my position 2 days ago on the 7th, and then I bought more, just a little bit more yesterday. But they're negative right now. What is it? Just barely 0.11%. So we have PaySafe. I've been hearing a lot of people, talk about this. I haven't really made up my mind on how I feel about it. Let's see. PaySafe. But I mean, it is doing really good today. Phil. Yeah, Phil. Hopefully it's blast off. I'm gonna move it out of the camera though for now, see what happens. Hopefully I don't jinx it. Any thoughts on DD? I'm still holding a pretty darn really small position at DD. I mean, it's up today, but I mean, you could see that today it went up. And then a lot of people probably just sold out because, all these people that were stuck down here were, just it gave them a reason to get out of the stock if they didn't believe in it long term. I think long term, I'm assuming they'll figure out what they need to do, and they'll be allowed back. People will be allowed to use it again. I haven't looked in the last day of what has been going on, so if there's been any updates, I've just been super busy with a bunch of other stuff, so I haven't looked. If there's any more updates on DD, but I mean, if they get it sorted out and you're allowed to download the app again, new people are able to get it and sign up and use the service, then I mean, we'll pop right back up. Q2 August 10th for NIO, one step closer to profitability. Yeah, Peter. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the EPS is, and see how all the other financials are looking. But yeah, for sure, one step closer to profitability. I think early to mid next year at the latest, they'll be profitable. Mike thinks. I know by Q4. I don't know if he said Q3 though. I'm sure he'll let you know. Yeah. Hoping by the end of the year, early next year. So he thinks early, the end of, or late this year. I think kind of early-ish, maybe halfway through next year at the latest. What does TipRank say about PaySafe? What's the ticker on that again? PSFE. 44% upside. That's all right. You could, yeah. I mean, 44% upside from the medium, the average. That's fantastic. I'm gonna have to look into that more. Yeah, Anthony, thank you. Yeah, hit the like button. That helps the stream a lot. It really does. And if you guys, you're not subbed already, hit that sub button. But yeah, the like button for sure really helps the stream out. So yeah, PaySafe. I'm gonna have to look into that more because I've been hearing for a while now that that name getting thrown out, and just there's too many stocks, too little time. Yeah, the RSI is good on it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that because that sounds real good. Let's see. Yeah, it's up 1.5%. Just a second, sorry. Um, but yeah, I mean, it seems to be rocket shipping kind of right now, going up real good. Um, double down on Gold Nugget yesterday morning. I had Gold Nugget. I don't know. This goes back 6 months or so when it was getting pumped up good. Let's see. I don't even remember the ticket for it. Alright, hang on. What is it? Gina. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to this one for a while. I was in this whole run up right here. But yeah, I haven't been paying attention. Again, this is one that just fell off the radar. I haven't been keeping up with it, of what they're doing and stuff. So I don't know, long term. Don't really have an opinion on it long term because I need to look it up. But yeah, I'm in DraftKings. That's my that's kind of my like gambling stock. Batteries as a service make NIO lots of money if other companies start using swapping. Oh yeah, and I mean, like I said before, it would make sense for smaller companies, or they don't even have to be small, to use NIO's battery swap stations, because that saves them millions and millions of dollars on R&D and everything, on setting up creating their own swap station. So only going to make NIO more money in the long run. Let's see. NIO that we bought is holding company. It's going to benefit from all the company that they create, such as NIO Power and NIO Jack combined company. Yeah, Samuel. Yep. Let's see, but I'll just go over it again real quick if you just joined. So NIO Power Day. Sorry, my nose itches. It's out of control. NIO Power Day was, I mean, I guess technically today, but stuff was coming out. It was technically last night for us, in the States. A bunch of information came out, a lot more than I was expecting. It gets me just more excited about NIO in the future. So I'll just run through this real quick. Some of the highlighted stuff. They were originally wanting to do over 500. Well, 500 battery swap station was the goal. William Lee wanted to do more than 500, but he never gave like an exact amount of how many he wanted to do. But it came out that it's been raised to over 700 battery swap stations by the end of this year. That's crazy. It's like a 40% increase. So yeah, 500 was a fantastic goal, but obviously doing 700, that's pretty ridiculous. Let's see. And they want to do 4,000 battery swap stations worldwide by 2025. So again, just growing like crazy. That's just out of control. It was like 1,000 a year battery swap stations. And that includes 1,000 are going to be in overseas markets. So that's really good. That's telling me that they see that it's not just going to work in China. That it's going to work in Norway and, Germany or wherever else. We'll get more information about where they plan all that to be. But yeah, obviously, you would think the U.S. eventually, by the end of 2025, we definitely see them in the U.S. More like 2023. But yeah, 1,000 worldwide, or 1,000 battery swap stations, outside of China is awesome. 4,000 in China. From 2022 to 2025, NIO will add 1,000 swap stations per year in the China market, in the Chinese market. So, yeah, like I said, fantastic. This is also good stuff. NIO said only 29% of customers currently have a battery swap station within a 3 kilometer radius, which he is he said is unsatisfactory and hopes to reach 90% by 2025. So to get 90% of your customers within a 3 kilometer radius of a battery swap station, that's fantastic stuff right there. Because I mean, you don't want to drive 20 minutes to a battery swap station. You know, if you're just 5 miles away or something, that is awesome. He's he's going about it in all the right ways. He has all the good plans how it should be done. And then also another huge thing is they have 7.3 billion in cash on hand. Like I said, they're gonna need that because every swap station is, I think, $230,000 US dollars after conversion. Yeah, so each one's basically $250,000. There's a company a city in China that does shave off like 70,000 of it. So, the ones they build there, the price basically gets cut, by a quarter, which is nice. Saves them a good amount of money. And then obviously NIO's announced that the NIO power charging and the battery swap is going to be open to the entire industry. So, if you want to charge your Tesla, Xpeng, or any of the other handful of companies that are popping up doing EV stuff, phone companies and whatever, they don't have to build all their own kind of infrastructure and stuff. They can use NIOs, which is going to make them more money. Plus, like I said before, if the company has a car that's over 40-some thousand US dollars, I think 43,000, and it's not battery swap enabled, then they don't qualify for subsidies. But if it is battery swap enabled, then the company gets those subsidies on those cars above the, I think, 43,000. So it makes more sense for companies to do battery swap enabled cars, and for those companies, save them a lot of money to use, NIO's battery swap stations in their tech. Obviously, they'll have to build their cars kind of a specific way to do, to fit with NIO's battery swap specs. But again, that could be huge. They're extending their NIO Power Cloud. So yeah, all great stuff here. Let's see. Hey, Stock Dudes from California. Richard, thank you for joining. How's it going? My guess is if they promise 4,000, they'll deliver many more. Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, William Li pretty much always over delivers. And if it seems like they're not going to hit that target, he will openly say he won't hit that target, and he'll give a new target, and that new target he always hits. So, it's nice to have transparency like that, because you don't want to go into it, basing your investments off of, they're going to do 5,000 battery swap stations by 2025. And it turns out they're, by the end of 2025, they're like, yeah, we only hit 3,000. And, they knew well ahead of time that they weren't going to hit the 5,000. So that's something I always like about William Li. He pretty much always hits his goals that he sets out, usually, above those goals. Like, I wasn't expecting 700. He said that his target was for more than 500 by the end of this year. I was thinking, maybe 550, but I was not expecting, 40% increase to 700. That was pretty insane. Yeah, Mike just popping them up like crazy every corner, like a Walgreens. That's what they need to do. There it is, Nicholas. Forget who it was, but yeah, we had another guy earlier in the stream saying that they got another upgrade. HSBC upgrades NIO to buy from hold, that alone is fantastic. But then they also lifted the price target to $69 from $54. So again, like I said, as the more we move up, and more analysts are going to be bumping their price targets up as well. You're right, Richard. Always under promises, over delivers. Yep, and that's how I think every company should operate, really. I know with work stuff, that's, with what I do for work, that's, it's always the best practice, obviously. Phil just turned green on the day. Hashtag Chad's chair. Cheers for the info as always. Hey, thank you for joining and always supporting us, man. We appreciate it. But let's check out. Let's go back over to Weeble. Check out NIO. Look at all this green. Only AMC, which, you know, that's doing its own thing. Yeah, all this green. That's fantastic. Too many things. NIO. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I don't use Weeble too often, but it'd be nice to have a line for like previous close line. I'm sure there's a way to do it in here. I don't use Weeble that often. I just always use my Fidelity stuff, but this is better to show you guys on here than the Fidelity. But yeah, it'd be nice to see where that, you know, the previous close line is. But yeah, we're up 0.25% right now. Getting a little bit of a pullback, but you know, it's gonna happen. Like I said, you know, higher lows, and then after this dip, right, this is around the time that I said, you know, hopefully we keep going higher highs. I think it was right around here where I said hopefully we broke this, you know, and don't just go back down and keep repeating the same trend. But yeah, we're trending up because, you know, higher lows, and then we did break that, so that's good. Richard, yeah, Mike, I think he was starting to look into cassava sciences yesterday a little bit, but yeah, I'd have to ask him more about that, how much he looked into it. I haven't looked into it yet, but I mean, obviously we're on the uptrend here. Let's see. Phil, if we start going back down negative, I'll bring the other chair into the party and we'll see what happens. Richard, I think because NIO and Tesla are doing charging swap stations, think it will impact the charging companies negatively. I believe NIO will do about 105,000 cars this year and in excess of 240 next year. Yeah, I think a lot of the analysts, the numbers we've seen, I think it was like 170 next year. From I think CICC that was. And I agree I think that's kind of low, especially I don't know why it's so low when they expect them to do 70,000 of ET7s alone. So I mean it definitely seems low to me. I can see them doing, you know, at least 200,000. But yeah, I mean, I kind of expected all the negative news to keep piling in, but you know, it didn't. At least from what I've seen, there hasn't been any, you know, any crazy news coming out about, you know, all the nonsense with the COVID variants. Because that was the main thing yesterday with Japan doing state of emergency for the Olympics. There's not going to be any spectators. I could see that, you know, that fear mongering getting way out of control. Sava's too late. I have to share, but sold. Yeah, it's on Mike's list of things to look at. It's just we're so busy. It's hard. It's so hard to just look at all these stocks, but we will get to it. We just need to set the time aside. I did see that Lucid is going to have hosted an investor call. I didn't really see a whole lot about it though, so I don't know if that's really why it's up today so good. At least last time I looked. Let's see, where is it at? That's up 4.25% or so. Kind of pulling back a little bit, but yeah. I did buy some things yesterday. I kind of expected, especially with it being a Friday, I kind of expected another red day. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not, but I was going to load up again or more if it was a red day, but I did buy some things. I bought more Apple, Microsoft, a little bit of Roku, more ChargePoint, more Xpeng. So nothing crazy, just a little bit. Like I said, I thought we were going to be going down more, so I was going to wait until we went down more. I was looking at NIO, and I was pretty close to buying more, but then it started coming up, so I just decided not to. I already have pretty much what I want of NIO. I need to keep putting into other things, but yeah, like Airbnb's up for me today. American Express, I have American Express. I bought some more yesterday. I'm up a little over 3% in that I bought. That's kind of a newer position to me. I think I bought it. Let's see, bought it late last week is when I entered that. But I mean, it's been doing really good. And then I think it was Morgan Stanley earlier this week. They said that they still see like a 30% upside on that. And just to help me diversify more, I bought into it. Let's see. And I bought, I believe it was around here. So it was kind of lower on the RSI still. I meant to go to tip ranks. That's what I really meant to do. But yeah, that's obviously no good. 5% downside from here. But we'll see. It's been going up like crazy. Let's see. Like just in the past year, you know, it's up 89%. So yeah. And then yeah, American Express stock has a 36% upside, and it was Goldman Sachs, not Morgan Stanley. And that was just 2 days ago. So yeah, good stuff there. But I'm trying to get more diversified and everything. I'm usually pretty decently diversified, but all my biggest, I don't know, top 3-4 biggest holdings were all EV stuff, so need to spread out the love a little bit. Like for example, one of the mutual funds that I'm in, it kind of mirrors the Dow a little bit. It's up 17% this year, even with, you know, all the correction crap and the pullbacks we've had. So it's, you know, obviously it's good to get into other things. QuantumScapes, I was in, again, like with a lot of these things that were getting pumped up at the kind of end of last year. I got into QuantumScapes because it was, I mean, we'll just look at it over here. It was getting pumped up like insane. So I think I entered around here sometime and just rode it up. I sold when it started selling off sort of around here. I haven't gotten back into it. I do think it's a really good company. Especially, you know, they're in the whole lithium solid state battery stuff. So I think long term it's going to be good, but I think it was obviously way pumped up. So I'm letting it calm down more before I get back into it. But I think long term it's going to be, you know, a really good stock. It seems kind of like, you know, if we look at it, that's in too far. If we kind of look at it though, it's been kind of, seems lately like it's at the kind of at the bottom. You know, it's not going down anymore. So, you know, this could be the bottom. It's kind of looking like it, and we could start moving up from here. I haven't looked at it, but I'm interested to see what TipRank says about it. 25% upside from the median. Oh, that's good. I'm assuming the RSI is super low on it. 37 on the RSI. So yeah, I mean, I guess I could have looked over here. RSI 37. So yeah, it's kind of looking like a good time to buy. I'm gonna have to be looking at that later today, because I have been waiting on a few things. Like ChargePoint was another one that I waited to calm down because it was another one of those that got pumped up. I got in it during the whole pump and took profit, but just waiting for it to pretty much calm down and come back to reality for me to get back into it to hold long term. But yeah, it's looking like quantum space pretty much kind of looking like it's at the bottom. So it could be a good time to buy in. That kind of market is only going to keep growing as EV grows, especially solid state stuff, because that's like the new tech that a lot of, that's going to be the good stuff that everybody wants. So it's good that they're obviously innovating. Let's see. Do you think the market will still go down for NIO? Like I said, I thought it was going to go down more than we did. If we look, not only just because the RSI was crazy high. We're at 50 on their RSI right now, which is perfect. That's where you want it to be. It could be a good time to buy more for sure. But it all depends on all the fear that's being pushed with China, Taiwan tensions. Because if they start having conflict, U.S. is going to step in for Taiwan. And then there's also the main thing, the COVID variants. That was the main thing that hurt the market yesterday, was Japan doing state of emergency and no spectators at the Olympics. So if more, as the COVID variants, they're doing their thing, if more places start doing like lockdowns and stuff because of COVID again, like after everything's just getting back open, it's not going to be good, obviously, for the market. And then the other main thing, so that was the main thing yesterday, but the other main thing too, which I think is nonsense, is they are worried. For some reason, there was fear being pushed about economic recovery after COVID. Kind of doesn't make any sense to me because I'm in Florida. We've been completely open for 8-9 months now. Everything I see, the economy's booming like crazy. Everything I try to order is pretty much on back order. And that's two things. People are buying it like crazy, but also just COVID shortages. There's now hiring signs everywhere. It's like you can't go down a main street without seeing a hiring sign. So obviously the economy's coming back. I don't know why they're pushing it so hard, that they're scared of economic growth. Based on numbers that came out on May, the JOLTS report came out a couple days ago, and that was based on May numbers. So that's a couple months behind. So I don't really understand all that, but obviously to me the economy is doing fine. The only thing that's going to hurt it is this COVID variant stuff. If they start locking places down again, more than Japan, it's going to cause a whole lot of fear. Do you buy any oil stocks, David? No, I don't buy any oil stocks. Anthony, the year is 2027. NIO is 500 a share. Will you decide to sell? If so, what's the plan of using your gains you have made? If we hit 500, I'm probably taking some profit, but I'm not selling all of it. It depends on what they're doing as a company. If they're still doing everything, right, they're still, their plan hasn't changed. They're still getting into other countries, expanding like crazy, adding more models, just getting better tech overall, for like, the AI stuff, the autonomy stuff. As long as they're still, improving as a company, I'm going to hold the majority of my shares. And, but yeah, what do I plan on using my gains for? I'm the only reason I'm investing is pretty much to retire early. That's what everything is going towards. I want to retire when I'm 45. That's the plan. So yeah, I might, with what I sell, I would probably just put into a safer mutual fund, some of the mutual funds I'm in. But like I said, the majority I would be holding still. I would probably, I don't even know, maybe sell a quarter, if that. It's hard to say. I might take some profits, like I said, probably would, but majority I'm going to keep holding because I don't really see a huge point in selling if you believe in the company is still going to do great things. If you know you might as well keep holding. Good morning, Alex. Good morning. I have 100 shares of QS at 30.06 a share. Can't wait to even out so I can sell half. QS has been killing me lately. Yeah, a lot of people got caught in the hype. Not saying you did, but a lot of people, back, let's see, where's it at? Back here, they got caught, they didn't sell. Or even, here, people, I'm sure a lot of people bought, thinking, well, this is, another time where we're going to start moving up from here. Because there was multiple times where this thing was getting pumped up. And yeah, I know a lot of people, I'm sure, are holding even that bought up here, and it's been killing a lot of people lately. Because I mean, as you can see, it's just been steadily down since then. I'm gonna be looking into it later, after stream, and see, try to form an opinion of whether I'm gonna buy or not. If I do, obviously I'm gonna dollar cost average because that's what I do with everything I buy. But yeah, I do want to get into it. I've just been waiting for it to calm down. Just like Charge Point. If you look at Charge Point, it's not nearly as bad as QuantumScapes. But yeah, it just kept getting pumped up like crazy during, the whole December, late November time frame when all EV stuff just straight blasted off. It didn't matter what it was, EV wise, it was going nuts. So I was in that during that ride, but I took profit. I got back in, I don't know if it was exactly here, but there were a few days in a row, or during a week where it went up 10%, it would sell off, it would go up another like 8-10%. So it could have been here. I don't remember when this was, April. It was probably around there. Because I thought this was kind of the bottom because we sold off real bad. And I've been wanting to get into Charge Point and hold long. I've already told this story, but yeah, I wanted to get in and hold long, so I bought somewhere around here, and then it just took off. And anytime I see a stock just take off like that, you should know that it's gonna sell off. So I sold, and then I bought back in, sold, and then I should have bought back in obviously here, but I bought back in. I would have to look back. What is this date? Early June. Let me look at my portfolio real quick because I didn't buy. I just recently bought in. Yeah, late last week. So yeah, somewhere around here. And I bought more on the 7th, and I bought more yesterday as well, because the RSI and everything was coming down, as you can see. 40 whatever on the RSI. Like I said, should have bought around here, but I honestly, that got put on the back burner and I wasn't paying attention to it because there's a lot of other things going on. But yeah, just like Charge Point, I want to hold it long, and I've finally was able to get back into it. But QuantumScapes for sure seems like, this could be the bottom. Sorry, long rant. If AMC rips, I'm putting gains into crypto, ADA, Bitcoin, ET, Ethereum. Yeah. I don't know how I'm feeling about AMC. I mean, it's nice. It did pop back up earlier today, I believe, when I looked at it. But it's kind of just been sideways from there. It seemed like obviously there's more interest. There's still interest in it because it bought back really good. From when we were here, it bought all the way back up. So obviously there's still a lot of interest in it, which is good. We're still holding $47, which would have been nice if we were holding in $50. But yeah, we'll see. Supposedly the next day for the next time shorts have to cover is on the 13th. So as long as we hold, we'll see what happens on the 13th. Could be blast off. Hoping for blast off. Albert, how old are you now? I just turned 30. I got into investing when I was, let's see, late 21, early 22. So I guess I am, young in how long I've been doing it. But as always, what someone says, you wish you would have got into it earlier. Because there's some people that I work with that they started when they were like 30. So they're like, oh, you have a really head start above, average. And it's like, well, I wish I would have started earlier. But at that time, I wasn't making great money and pretty much needed all the money I needed. So I wasn't really thinking about investing at that time. But, if I was, especially in my earlier years, like before having a family and everything, I could have made more money. Saint not selling for 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not selling. I don't have any plans to sell for at least 5 years, and then, but things, obviously things can change at any point depending on what they do. If the company starts not doing good, then I'm going to, reevaluate what my plan is. So Mike says they want to offer more shares, go from roughly 500 million to over 1 billion. Yeah, that's no good. In my opinion, obviously, that's not good. Bulk QuantumScape's at $45 a share. LOL, I'm only at 30 because I averaged down. So yeah, I'm one of the guys who bought high and didn't sell. Well, at least you didn't sell. If you believe in the company, at least you didn't sell, because you really only lose money when you sell. So if you see it going up, the best thing to do is exactly what you did and average down. So you brought your average down a lot. So congrats on that. Yeah. Anthony, I'm not fully disappointed, but I was expecting maybe some new battery technology or something new for this year. Still very happy about the number of swaps they're wanting for the rest of the future. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of news. It was more than I was expecting, but yeah, it would have been nice to get some, revolutionary battery tech or something. But, if they're getting it, so is Tesla, because Tesla gets their batteries from CATL as well. So I know they're working on sodium batteries, and they'll be cheaper in the long run. And obviously, there's a lot more sodium in the world, so that's going to be good. They talked about that a month ago now. Yeah, it would have been nice to get something like that, but again, they don't produce their own batteries, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But yeah, everything that was released was fantastic, and that they have over $7 billion of cash. What's your thoughts on DraftKings, Chad? I've had DraftKings, I don't know, over a year now, it seems like. That's a long-term play for me. I see great things with that. More states in the U.S., legalizing that kind of gambling. We saw, I believe it was last year, more and more states were legalizing it, and they have partnerships with a bunch of, I know the UFC, I believe the NFL or the NBA. I can't remember exactly. It might be both of them. But they're plastering, DraftKings, like, this replay brought to you by DraftKings. So and it's always on the like on it's always down like in one of the corners or something, popping up all the time. They're gonna be, you know, as sports come back more and more, and people obviously, you know, they have jobs again, they're not struggling for money, they're gonna be getting into more of that stuff, even more than they already have been. So I see DraftKings, it's definitely a long-term play for me. What's your thoughts on Peloton? I haven't been paying attention to it since the whole pump up during COVID. Mike loves Peloton. He'll tell you all about it. Why did Kramer ask all to sell NIO? John, that's just what he does. He doesn't like NIO, probably just because it's a foreign stock. He always says sell NIO, buy Tesla. And since he has said that, NIO has been, you know, performing a lot better than Tesla. So, but also a couple weeks before he said to buy Tesla, he was also saying negative things about Tesla. So you got to kind of take what he says with a grain of salt, because he's kind of all over the place, kind of just whatever fits the agenda at the time, I guess. But yeah, it's just funny. It's just a joke, like especially on our Discord, it's a joke. Shout out to the Discord people. It's anytime Kramer says anything, it's just always do the opposite of what he says, basically. Because right after he told that guy to sell all of his NIO and buy Tesla, you know, was doing terrible, and NIO was blasting off. So just funny. You think Airbnb can hit 150 at closing? I don't know. Do I have that one up here? Ah, man. They're up 4%. Let's see. Yeah, they've been having a good run. It's kind of looking like it might be peaking off a little bit, maybe. Let's see here. Let's see. So, like I said, it's kind of maybe at its peak, because all this time, you know, is higher lows pretty much, you know, every time pretty much besides here. Even here it was higher. And now, you know, it's kind of, you know, not really much higher lows. And then obviously this is a lower low. So this could be the point where some people start selling. But we'll have to see. You know, I mean, it got all the way up to 149.29. And as long as, if we hold 4% for Airbnb at the end of the day, I'll be happy. I'll definitely be happy about that. But I mean, it is only 1 o'clock. There's two things that could come into play. You know, the 3 o'clock power hours, we call it. You know, it could send this thing shooting back up. Obviously, if there's some kind of decent pullback, maybe down, you know, even if we get down to, you know, back into the 147s, I would think, you know, that would trigger a lot of people to buy that up. I mean, we'll see what happens now. It could make some people buy it up, but it's not really that big of a drop. I would probably have to drop down more back into the 47s for a decent buyback, or, you know, for a big push. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times when stocks run up pretty good, there's usually always like a sell off, especially when, you know, the whole market's not really doing this. It's only CCIV that's, you know, up 4%. Everything else is kind of, I don't know, 1% or borderline. So I could see some people taking some, you know, easy profits from this, especially if you bought like yesterday. You know, if you bought down in here somewhere and then you could just sell up here for an easy 7% or so, a lot of people would be doing that. But I mean, it's been going up good, so I am interested to see what happens here. But Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm holding Airbnb long. I see, obviously good things with Airbnb. I've had family that has used it a lot cheaper than staying in a hotel. And obviously, you can get a house. You have a lot more room, a lot more comfortable. But yeah, I don't know if I don't see it hitting 150 today. We're already up over 6%. A lot of other things right now are kind of pulling back too. I mean, not really pulling back, but starting to go down. Just gonna click on random ones. As you can see, a lot of stuff starting to pull back some. And I'm assuming that's just people that bought in early yesterday when everything was so far down, and they're just taking some profits. As you can see, the trend pretty much with everything is down. Besides DD. DD's going up. QuantumScapes is, starting to move up too, but a lot of the main ones are trending down, or starting to trend down. A joke and media can publish it widely all over. Yeah, we saw them with GameStop and AMC and stuff. But even before it ran up 100% that day, they were trying to push fear so bad, like every day, of why to not buy AMC. And then it just blast off. Like what Mike said, Kramer's part of the, big media, kind of part of the problem. He's with all the suits. Probably doesn't really want, people like you and me to actually make money. You think NIO will pull back significantly soon? Not significantly, no. Like, I don't see it going back into the low 40s or anything. I have too many things open. Hopefully Monday pre-market open at 48. I mean, I'd be all right. I wouldn't complain about that. But yeah, to go back to the one guy's question, why it's why it's going down or whatever. Also, the RSI on everything was stupid high because it was going up like 70% since it was at its bottom of like 31 whatever. It was up 70% in like a month and a half. So it's only natural that things, either way, no matter what the news says, it's going to have to pull back at some point. But obviously it doesn't help that the news published all that bad stuff about, pushing COVID fear, pushing economic fear, all that stuff. The volume's kind of low for today, which is normal for a Friday. Usually the volume is pretty low on a Friday. We're almost at 50 million, which is high for a Friday. I will say that, but it's kind of low compared to usual. Best way to find support and resistance. Really, you just zoom out on the chart. I wish Mike was live streaming because he had all the support and resistances lines already made on here. Let's see. But you can kind of see this area right here, like where we dipped here. So this would be kind of like a support, this $44 mark around, close to 44. We hit it here, hit it here, hit it here. And even if you go all the way back here, so we've hit it a bunch of times and it's stayed above that. So that's a pretty good support around that $44 mark. And then resistance, you basically do the exact opposite of where where it's spiked up and touched, but then went back down afterwards. It's basically how you find resistance. So pretty much that's pretty much it. So, but you can see here, we bounced off this $44 mark or, around it and went back up. So that's definitely a support. And then, like I said, for resistance, you do the exact same. Besides, instead of bouncing off it and going up, you bounce off and go down. So, yeah, spikes to a price multiple times. Exactly. Hopefully, I explained that good enough. A lot of factors. Retailers getting profits at 50s. Many retailers were stuck at 50 since early 2021. China tech crackdown, fear. Stupid people like Kramer creating fear. Lots of factors. Yeah, there's a lot of. It's not just like one thing that is creating all this fear. It's a lot of things. It's all that stuff plus, you know, people are pushing for like a market crisis, market crash sort of thing, like housing market crash, which I don't know if I see a housing market crash, but I see prices coming down. That doesn't mean it has to crash. What is NIO price target for end of month? Mike, do you have a price target for the end of the month? I would say, what is this? I would say probably price target end of month. It's kind of hard because they have their earnings on the 9th of next month. So that's not really going to be factored into it, really. So, I don't know. End of this month, probably 55. End of year, I see 80 though. Aren't we overdue for a 5% SPY pullback? I mean, I know that we hit all-time highs with, you know, the Dow's been hitting all-time highs, and then the Nasdaq started hitting all-time highs. I don't really think. Let me look at different where I can actually see how much it's up. No, it's not. I want the chart. Show me the chart. So let's see. So from here to, you know, there's a little bit of pullback here. But let's see how much it ran up to the next pullback. So around 15%. So yeah, it's up, you know, 28% since the last pullback. From, you know, this peak to where it pulled back. Same, you know, like with here. So, I mean, it does seem like there should be a pullback, but also a lot of things are just now recovering from COVID. A lot of stuff, like some travel stuff, really hasn't even recovered. But yeah, I mean, there could be a pullback. I don't really see another correction. A correction doesn't have to happen every year. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. Like all in here, you know, it happens every, you know, so often. It just in the last couple years, it's been happening. I guess more frequently, but also a lot of that is because last year, a lot of stuff ran up like crazy. Late 2019, like, and then last year everything ran up good. So it does seem like, you know, if you go back only 5 years and you see that, you know, the last kind of 3 years, there's been a, you know, I don't even want to say a correction because, well, that's technically a correction. That's, you know, borderline. But yeah, this, you know, there was a correction here and here. It does seem like there should be another correction. When you look at the SPY, yeah, it does. But like I said, it doesn't have to happen every year. There's not a correction every single year. Like if you look at all this, all these years. I mean, there was one in 2011. But then since then, there wasn't one all the way until 2015, really. So, it all depends. August and September will be a good month, Norway. NIO way. Yeah, we think they'll get to. So they want to do 10,000 deliveries a month. I don't think they'll do that in July. I think they'll do that more in August, the following month. So, like you said, August and September will be a good month. Yeah, I think because deliveries, then they're going to be starting to sell, September into Norway. Uh, yeah, I mean their earnings comes out, their Q2 earnings come out next month, so August. Um, Raphael, I'll get to you. I'm going to get through all these other ones real quick. 504 years for NIO. Yeah, we made a video. I don't even know. It's been like 4 months now, and we said like 500 by 2025. We need to do an update on that video though. End of year 80 to 90 with a potential to touch 100 on NIO Day. Yeah, I mean NIO Day, from what it sounds like, they did say they want to release another car by the at the end of this year, which they're only going to release a car at NIO Day. So to me, that means NIO Day's later this year, late December. So yeah, that they could touch 100. That would be fantastic. I don't see it holding above 100, but if it does touch 100, but I mean it could be a potential. Also check out CRISPR, Alibaba, and Skills. Yeah, I was in Skills for a while, and CRISPR when it was running up, but I did take profits on them just because it was running up. Those are other ones that I've been wanting to follow and let them come down to get back in long term. Gold Nugget online gaming is promising at these prices. Bought yesterday at 11. Bought only with $200. Do I still have that up here? I think I closed it. What is the ticker on that? GNOG. Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of, to be, this could have been kind of potentially the bottom. That is one that I was in during this time frame again when it was running up. But like I always say, it's not really that I knew it was potentially going up. Some things I knew were getting pumped up, like ChargePoint and all the other EVs, and that's kind of why I bought them. At least ChargePoint and Plug Power and stuff like that. But this one I bought in, I didn't know it was going to go up, but anytime I see this happen, I'm going to sell because it's just it's just going to do this. It's going to sell off. Let's see here. I mean, if you just throw it out there real quick, if you guys aren't subscribed, hit that sub button and the like button in the live stream. It really helps the live stream. But for sure, hit that sub button because we're trying to get 6,000 subs by the end of this month. And also, if you guys didn't know, I'm assuming you guys know, we have a Discord, and we have a pretty big community over in the Discord. We talk about everything all the time, at all times of days. What we're looking at, what other people say, what they're looking at, give their opinions. There's a lot of really smart people over there too, so they give really good advice. And yeah, it's a good time over there. It's pretty much like a live stream all the time because we can talk to you guys about whatever. It doesn't, whatever the heck you guys want to talk about, we can talk about it. But yeah, and then into the Discord, you get, kind of information a lot faster than you will in the video because sometimes, like our videos are potentially a day behind depending on Mike's work schedule. Like the one that's coming out today at 4, we recorded yesterday. So it's, a day behind. But yeah, when news comes out, we share it a lot of times to the Discord right away. So they get all the juicy info right away. They, if we're planning on buying or selling something, we put that in the Discord, so you guys will know first. Yeah, the link should be at the top of the chat. If it's not there, it's in the description of the live stream. But yeah, let's get back to Tesla can get to 800 in a year. I don't believe why NIO can't. Chinese trillion government backing. Chinese need face and they will make it work. The only problem with that is Tesla has like half the amount of shares, shares outstanding that Tesla does. So it's going to take a lot more to get NIO to $800. Basically, they would be able to get to $400 because they have half the amount of shares. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot more for NIO to get to 800, because they have double the amount of shares out there. How was NIO Power Day? So I'll go through that again. It was a lot better, a lot more news that I thought was going to happen. I wasn't really expecting all of this good news, so that's good. But some of the highlights is the battery swap stations target boosted by 40%. So they've been talking about it for a while that they want to do 500 battery swap stations at the end of this year. William Lee has said multiple times that he wanted to do over 500. But I was kind of expecting, like 525, 550, something like that. But they raised it by 40%. He said that the new goal is over 700. It's been raised to over 700 battery swap stations by the end of this year. So that is a insane goal. But William Lee, he always pretty much delivers. So if he thinks they can do 700, unless something comes up, then they're going to do 700, which to me is just insane. Because even 500 to start with by the end of this year was crazy. But yeah, to do over 700 is nuts. And then, so another kind of highlight is they want to do over 4,000 battery swap stations worldwide by 2025. And that includes 1,000 that are going to be in overseas markets. So, more into Norway, more into, Germany. Obviously by 2025, we expect them to be into the US as well. So in the US, and then just all the other countries in Europe that they're going to be expanding into. So they're going to be putting, at least 1,000 in there. And then they said they're going to be adding 600 battery swap stations per year into the Chinese market, which is fantastic. And then I mentioned this before, but I'll go through it again. That NIO said that only 29% of customers currently have a battery swap station within a 3-kilometer radius, which to him is unsatisfactory, and he hopes to reach 90% by 2025. So, like I said earlier in the stream, if he can get 90% to be within, 90% of the customers to be within 3 miles or 3 kilometers of a battery swap station, that is awesome. That's an awesome goal to have, because if I have, if I do the battery swap, battery as a service, and I have to drive, 20, 30 minutes to a battery swap station, that kind of sucks. But if one is, just right down the road, I'm a lot more likely to do battery as a service because I don't have to really go out of my way. It's even more like going to a gas station at that point. So that's fantastic news. Probably one of the bigger things, though, too, is that NIO has $7.3 billion in cash on hand, which is fantastic. Obviously, is a good chunk of money. And they're opening up NIO Power charging and battery swap system. So it's battery as a service. They are opening it up to the entire industry, as it says, right there. So that means we already kind of knew this, but the battery charging was open to all. So if you have a Tesla, Xpeng, a Li, once they put out their EV, any other handful of companies, in China that, you know, are producing EVs, they can now, all those people and the companies can use the power charging, and they can also, you know, build some of their cars to NIO's, you know, battery specs, and they can do the battery as a service as well, which, you know, saves that company a lot of money in R&D and everything of building their own battery swap stations, and also, you know, makes them more money, because then if the car is over, I don't know, I think $43,000 and it's not battery swap enabled, then they don't get subsidies from it. But if it is battery swap enabled, then they do get the subsidies, which is, you know, like I've said before, that's how Tesla makes all their money, is from all the government subsidies. So there's obviously a lot of money in that. So yeah, there's that stuff. They're expanding their NIO Cloud Power stuff. We'll be making videos on it more detailed, but that's the main stuff. It's just, yeah. Can NIO do anything to reduce the number of shares besides a reverse split? Yeah, I don't think they will really do anything. It's just gonna have to just deal with it, because eventually, you know, they're gonna want to do a split once the stock, I don't know, gets up to 500 or, you know, over $1,000. They're gonna do a split. So I don't really see a point of doing a reverse split now and then, you know, have to do a split, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 years down the road. So I don't know if they'll do anything. It's just kind of an unfortunate situation, but kind of is what it is, really. NIO prediction end of year. We see Mike sees it at 70 to 75. I see it at 80 at the end of this year. So we'll see what happens. See. Oops. Well, let's look at the stock again. We haven't looked at it in a while. So NIO is, you know, there was a sell-off like last time we looked. It started selling off a little bit, so it is negative 0.25%. But a lot of things were kind of doing the same thing. Let's see. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Airbnb, you know, started doing kind of the same, but it did buy back, and now we're at 49.63. So like I said, if we got, you know, I'm surprised it bought back so good with it only dipping down to, you know, 148. It was low 148s. I guess we kind of almost hit 147. But like I said, I was expecting for a good buyback to hit down into 147-ish. I mean, we got close, but close but no cigar. But it did buy back, which, you know, is what you want to see. So yeah, we're only, you know, 35 cents away from hitting 150. I was expecting more of a sell-off, though, with, you know, people just taking profits, because when the market's kind of shaky, a lot of people start getting nervous and they just sell out once they have some profits. PaySafe now is, you know, kind of just consolidating after it went up around 1.5%. But, you know, Lee was selling off. Roku, you know, a lot of these people are, you know, probably just taking profits. Microsoft selling off, you know, after it went up. Xpeng selling off. So what average do you have on your NIO shares? Last time I looked, it was 38 or 36. I bought more yesterday, so I was going to raise it. Let's see. It is 37.42 is my average. It went up a little bit since I bought a little bit more yesterday. But I didn't buy a whole lot yesterday, but it still raised it just a little bit. Because like I said, I already have kind of as many NIO shares as I currently want. I need to start putting more into everything else that I'm in. Because NIO is my biggest holding, and then the next biggest is literally half the amount of money I have into NIO. So yeah, just been putting into other things, but also the dip is, it's, you know, hard to ignore that dip. Kind of have to buy a little bit. Yeah, Airbnb's at 5% now. Where's that at? Yeah. It wants to. It wants to. We'll see. We'll see if we hit 150. It would be awesome. We might hit it and, you know, stay below it. I could see that. Let's see. Yeah, there's not really any resistances around 150 though, so we'll see. It's just like this, and you know where we kind of traded sideways right there, but there's not any like real resistance. So we could. I'll have to just wait and see what happens. But yeah, the only things that are negative in my portfolio today are Microsoft, and that's only down 0.05%, wherever that's at. Microsoft starting to go back up, so could break even. And NIO, but it's only down 0.05% as well. Yeah, it keeps bouncing around, but 0.5, 0.4, 0.8, 0.4 or 0.4. So overall, I'm pretty happy with today. I thought today was going to be, I thought they would be pushing the fear a lot more. It's kind of weird for them to only push a lot of fear one day and then just drop it. But I guess that's good because obviously you want the market to go up. But I'm probably going to be ending stream here in a few minutes. If you guys haven't, obviously, you know, like I said, hit that sub button. Really helps us out. We want to do 6,000 subs by the end of this year, or by the end of this month. You know, thank you to everybody that's already subbed. And, you know, we've been growing pretty good. We're really happy with how much we're growing. So yeah, thank you guys as always for joining. You know, there's a lot of familiar people in here that always join. So shout out to all you guys that are, you know, our loyal supporters always here chatting with us. We know who you are. Really enjoyed talking to all you guys though. But what's my second biggest holding? Oh, I didn't mean to open that. My second biggest holding is CCIV, actually. And then after that is, well, that's not counting my mutual funds. Besides my mutual funds, it goes NIO, CCIV, and then let's see, and then Tesla. Oh, let's look at Airbnb. I don't know if you're still in here, but we might hit that 150. There it is. Now, will it hold above 150? We will see. But usually a lot of stocks, every dollar mark, there's always a resistance on its way up. We always usually hit it. It pulls back a little bit. And then next time we hit it, a lot of times, then it blasts off. So as you just saw, we hit, you know, 150.05, but now there's a sell off because, you know, people like to sell in whole numbers, I guess. It's just how it goes. But it'd be nice if it just pulls back a little bit and then we blast past it. Usually once we get to like the whole dollar, so like 150, and then we kind of get to like, say 150 and at least 15 cents, but more towards like 18, 20 cents, then it usually starts holding above it. But yeah, this is what I see all the time. You barely break that dollar mark, and then there's a sell-off. Like I said, you know, people always have, you know, they always want to sell in whole dollars, I guess. But then it usually pops back up, And then if it is going to hold over 150, we need to usually get to 150, probably 18. And then it'll start holding above it. At least just from future patterns or future, history, going off of, other patterns that have happened before. That's usually what I see. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Hockey Black, what's your like top 3 holdings? Well, all of you guys, I'd be interested to hear what your top 3 holdings are. I was super EV heavy. I mean, as you can tell, my top 3 biggest holdings are EVs. So trying to fix that a little bit. I do hold, let's see one. I have 22 stocks. 3 of those are mutual funds, or 2 are mutual funds. 1's an ETF. But yeah, I have, I usually kind of stay around 20. I like to at least. But NIO and DD. Yeah, DD's, that's a tough one. It's going to be, I think you can make some really good profits if you bought when it was super low. I have a pretty small holding in it. But I bought a lot more. I had a really small holding in it, and then it dipped like, that 20% or whatever. And then I loaded up a good amount, brought my cost basis down really good. So now I'm just holding what I have now, because I don't want to put too much in it. But yeah, if that stuff gets sorted out, it'll pop back up real good. It'll be easy money there. You bought at 11. Yeah, so you're doing not too bad. Oh, that's not what I want. Yeah, I mean, you bought at the lowest it was. So yeah, giggity. Yeah, I mean, you cannot be upset about that. You bought at the very lowest point. So yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna get all that crap sorted out, and then it'll be, we'll just pop back up. I don't see it making that up in a day, because it was down like 20%. But I mean, it'll be. I hate how when you zoom it, like it does that, but like it'll pop back up, pretty good. And then obviously over time we'll get well above IPO price, but there's gonna be a big pop, when that gets sorted out. Did he start all this and now going up and NIO down? I'm assuming you meant DD start all this and then now it's going up and then NIO's going down. Yeah, I mean, DD, with what China did to DD, obviously that scared a lot of the Chinese stocks, I guess. So, it was pretty ridiculous what China did with DD once they IPO'd. It's like literally right when they IPO'd. But I'm assuming that's going to get sorted out in time, and then it pops back up. NIO, I have triple what I have in everything else. So right now you have NIO, then Tesla, Tattooed Chef, Ethereum, CCIV. That's good. NIO, I have triple what I have in everything else. Yeah. I was at that at one point, but then it's hard because I want more NIO, but also obviously you don't want all your money to be in NIO, so you fight with yourself. But yeah, I've been buying a lot of other things, trying to build that, and then only buying NIO on the dips pretty much. Like I didn't really have any more intentions of buying NIO, and then it dipped. So the last couple days I bought a little bit. The day where it was like 8%, I bought a good little chunk, and then yesterday I bought just a little tiny bit more because, like I said, I thought it was going to go down. even more. Get the feeling NATO would take advantage of DD's ride hailing in China with China's intervention. I mean, they could. But I know DD's huge over there as well. NIO is 31% of my portfolio. Yeah, it's before I started adding a bunch of other things. It was 31 or 32% of my portfolio. It's probably more like, I mean, it's still probably still at least 28% of my portfolio. Probably something like that. So it's a good chunk of my portfolio, especially when I, like I said, I have like 21 other things, or 20 other things technically, but yeah. It's a good chunk. So trying to build other things up. Yeah. Mike is really heavy on NIO. I would have to look back at my account and actually see, but yeah, I'm assuming it's around 28. Something like that. I got all in NIO. I will try to sell at 55 and buy back. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times that works out. It's a little more risky to try doing that, but a lot of times it does work out pretty good. I think next week we retest 4250 because, as you know, after good news going down, yeah, it's hard to say. There's been a lot of good news, so yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's not down more with all the awesome news that came out with NIO Power Day. So yeah, because that's just like the running joke is anytime there's really good NIO news, it always goes down because it's what it seems to do. But but we'll see. It didn't run up. Usually when it goes down after good news, it's because it ran up prior to the good news. And obviously we didn't have that. So it might not go down. So we might not see that drop. Let's see. Yeah, Carnival could be a good one, obviously long term, because it hasn't. I mean, you could pretty much make 100% from where it is now if it got back to what it was pre-COVID, which I see it, getting back to those numbers. It's just going to be a matter of time. So, that's pretty easy, 100% there. I'm in Norwegian, and it's kind of the same thing. It can get, it's 100% from here. If it gets back to pre-COVID, which I see it doing. So yeah, David, let's look at what I got. I have a lot of tech. I don't have any like oil. I don't have any oil. A lot of EV stuff. A lot of tech. A lot of EVs. And then some of my mutual funds cover, just kind of a general market. I'm also in, I have one financial stock. But it's mainly kind of towards the tech side. But yeah, like I said, a couple mutual funds. that cover kind of everything. And then also I have DraftKings. I guess I have two financial stuff because I have American Express as well. Since I just recently bought into that. And I have Airbnb as well, so it's not really tech either. Speaking of Airbnb, once we hit 150, it's not wanting to go over. It's just hanging out. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's pretty typical for every dollar mark. It's kind of a struggle on the way up, especially when you're running up really good on days like this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end stream at 150, so 3 minutes. Let's look at NIO. What's going on with NIO? It's heading back down. I'm assuming pretty much everything's kind of following the same trend. Even CCIV is starting to go down. It's been going down. So yeah, like I said, I usually kind of expect this because everyone that bought yesterday, a lot of them are going to be selling just because it's, easy profits. Especially if you bought like CCIV yesterday, you're up pretty darn good. Especially, like NIO and everything, you're sitting pretty good from yesterday. Especially, at open. That's why a lot of people sold at open. But it's unfortunate, but that's what happens. Especially when people are kind of worried about the market. If there's going to be some market crash or something, people want to just get in and out, take quick profits. But as long as, we hold positive, everything's pretty much positive for me today besides the two problem childs that I've been mentioning, Microsoft and NIO. They're the only ones that are down for me today. CRM, Salesforce. I'm in Salesforce. It's borderline. It's borderline. It keeps going back and forth, positive and negative. But now I'm interested in Airbnb. If we do break this, we will see. It's just interesting how, like I said, once you hit that, you go a little bit above the that dollar mark, and then it just pulls back, and then it's like it just creates its own little miniature resistance here for a while. A lot of times we end up going past it, but since it's already up 5% for the day, we might not go past it. As always, thank you for today and taking the time to be informative. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, David. Thank you for all your support lately. Really appreciate it. All your comments and everything. We really appreciate it. I like just talking to all you guys. But yeah. I'm gonna end it. Like I've said before, if you're not subbed, hit that sub button. Really helps us out trying to hit 6,000 by the end of this month. We have a video coming out in pretty much 2 hours at 4 o'clock. But expect more videos this weekend, more about the NIO Power Day stuff. We haven't made any videos today about NIO Power Day because Mike's at work, so it's going to be over the weekend videos about all that juicy info. But yeah, I'm going to end it, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video. And thank you all for stopping by.